Coming up in this fully narrated video with air traffic control, you're coming with me on a 767 as I leave JFK in a premium select seat that's not really premium select. We'll take off on the super long runway 31 left after getting clearance from Kennedy Tower, and we'll work our way out of the New York City area to Robbinsville, New Jersey. And it all starts right now.
You, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of your ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Well, good morning and hello from Kennedy Airport. I just dropped off my bag here at Terminal 4, and I'm heading over to TSA to head over to Phoenix. It's been a minute or two, but today I finally have a flight from JFK. I'm headed to Phoenix. Now, this is a long trip, so this will be a two-part series. This part focuses on the departure, while part 2 will focus on the arrival. For now, let's head over to the air side. All right, I just completed TSA and I'm heading down to the gate area. Can't wait to get on that 767 today. All right, that's Kennedy Tower back there. Someone's going to issue me takeoff clearance today from that tower. I'm beyond excited to be flying on a Boeing 767-300. I love the big old Boeing windows. I always get that international feeling here at Terminal 4, but I'm remaining within the USA today. Today, I'm on Delta Flight 791, departing at 8 a.m. from gate Bravo 32. I feel like I'm getting ready to leave the United States. I'm not. I'm just going to Phoenix Sky Harbor. I, of course, arrived really early for my flight, so that gives me an opportunity to stroll around the post-TSA mall, a pleasant area well-suited for the passenger mix here. It's really early, and I'm not going to do much shopping except search for some food to bring along with me, since there will only be Comfort Plus snacks in my class of service, because my class is Delta Comfort. While down here, I spotted the new Delta One lounge. Now, I'm flying in a 767, which has a Delta One cabin, and Delta One passengers can use the Delta One lounge before their flights. But for today's flight, the Delta One cabin is considered to be first class, a step below Delta One. So despite the lie-flat seats, Delta One passengers can't use this lounge. On the plane, they get a Delta One seat, but first class service, which basically means a standard first class meal as opposed to a higher level Delta One meal. Now, today, I'll be seated in a Delta Premium Select seat, but it's branded as Delta Comfort today, which means that instead of Premium Select service, I'll just get the standard Delta Comfort snack selection, just like I get on an A321 from New York to Florida, like I usually do. If this plane were flying between JFK and LAX or JFK and, let's say, Rome, Italy, Delta One and Premium Select seats would get Delta One and Premium Select service. Basically, Delta is just using an aircraft that's used on longer premium routes on this route today, although it is a rather long flight. This route is also serviced by the A321, which doesn't have the Delta One or Premium Select cabin, so service on the 767 is kept consistent with the A321 despite the larger Delta One and Premium Select seats. It's 6:30 a.m. and my flight boards in 45 minutes. The plane is at the gate. Well, it's a little hard to see through the reflection in the window because it's still dark outside, but that's my Boeing 767-300 series. Yes, my call sign will have the word heavy. In recent days, this aircraft have been operating long-haul flights to Hawaii. I'll be providing air traffic control communications to you, and today's call sign adds the word heavy to the flight number. It's been a while since I've been on a heavy jet. Delta 791 Heavy is calling my name. I just can't wait to get on board. Now, my Premium Select seat is going to have some sort of recline. It is a lot more than Comfort Plus, but that is not something that I even care about. I just care about the fact that I've strategically chosen a seat on the left-hand side of the aircraft for the best view. Now, I was hoping for a northern departure going around New York City, but today our initial departure fix is going to be Robbinsville, which means we'll be heading out to the south and then going inland over New Jersey before proceeding on course to Phoenix. Now, it could change last minute. You never know. Yesterday, the aircraft flew the northern departure to one of the northwest departure gates out of New York City, but we'll just see what happens. Here's another 767 with the morning sky behind it on the other side of the concourse. That's not my plane, but that's a nice sunrise. And here's my plane with some better lighting now. I'm glad this is going to be a day flight so I can see more along the way to Arizona today. Now that it's getting brighter, I can begin to observe the operation. It's a 3-1's day at JFK. Runway 31 left is the departure runway, with runway 31 right being the primary arrival runway. And as it's been for decades, all flights departing on this runway, runway 31 left, turn left after takeoff. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. Turning left is a requirement because it keeps departures away from LaGuardia's airspace and points flights toward the Atlantic Ocean where they can continue their climb. A straight-out heading could interfere with arrivals to LaGuardia from the south, whether landing on runway 431 or runway 22 with left traffic. We'll be making the left turn once we're airborne. By the way, this is a 747 bound for Anchorage, Alaska. Can't wait for that left turn after takeoff. The time for boarding has come. Let's go to Phoenix. It's boarding time here at Gate Bravo 32. This is just so exciting. I love the boarding process here at Terminal 4 at JFK Airport. This is great. I don't know what's more exciting, boarding the 767 or getting the opportunity to take off on runway 31 left today. Here's my seat. It's the window seat in the first row of Premium Select. Oh wait, it's called Comfort Plus today. I have a ton of legroom. Not that I need it, but I have what I want. 2 windows to myself. That is what matters. So why am I here? Well, since I'm a Platinum Medallion, I can upgrade myself at booking to this seat since it's considered to be Comfort Plus. I don't think I'm going to make Platinum status for 2027, so I'm taking advantage of this free upgrade this year, 2026, while I can. This is a very comfortable seat with many features, which I'm not going to go over because all I want is just 2 windows to myself. I got it. Can't really complain. Here's my view from my window in front of the left engine of the left wing. Most people are really happy about the extra legroom. I think it's just great that the 767 windows are this big. Honestly, a seat in the back would have been fine too with these big windows. Even one is enough. I'm so happy that the windows are clean. Any scratches or marks on the windows puts a real damper on any flight for me. This plane is over 30 years old, but it feels brand new. This sets the mood for a great flight right away. Out there, another plane with big windows pulled into the gate next door. That's a LATAM Dreamliner. To this day, I still have not been on a Dreamliner. There's the control tower, and soon you'll be listening in to comms from up there to our flight deck. And here's our route in a straight line from JFK to Phoenix. Of course, no flight is ever in a straight line all the way. In a few moments, we're going to push back onto the ramp between Terminal 4 and Terminal 1, which is basically a construction area as the new Terminal 1 is being built. The tug is attached to the nose gear of this 767, and the goal is to safely move back on the ramp so we can be positioned to enter the active taxiway system under the control of the FAA. Here we go. The Terminal 4 ramp controllers have allowed us to push back since there's no traffic behind us. There's plenty of room to bring this large 767-300 away from the gate so that the next inbound plane can take its place. And we're running ahead of schedule, making the gate clear earlier than expected. This is the first flight of the day. The aircraft had been a RON plane, or a Remain Overnight plane. Once this plane gets to Phoenix, it will turn around and go back here to JFK. The crew of this flight is entirely New York City based. Our nose is being positioned so that it faces outward toward the taxiway system. This will allow us to taxi on our own. To accomplish this, we move backwards in a turn, and once the turn is complete, we'll be facing out. Note the vehicles passing by. They were holding for us as we pushed back. They're not under control, but rather they rely on visuals to ensure that they wait for us to move first before proceeding ahead. And of course, there's a wing walker down there to ensure that we don't hit anything. After all, this is a wide-body plane. Our wingspan is almost 167 feet, but of course all planes have wing walkers. There's another wing walker on the other side of this heavy jet. Once we come to a complete stop, the tug is removed and the wing walkers and tug go back to the terminal for their next flight. For us, it's time for engine start. We can now move forward under our own power. We're working our way to the end of the Delta ramp. It leads to taxiway Kilo Foxtrot. Kilo Foxtrot is controlled by the control tower, so it's time to check in with the tower as Delta 791 Heavy at Kilo Foxtrot. We'll also indicate that we have received the latest airport information, which is currently labeled Golf.
I want Delta 791, Heavy Kilo Foxtrot Alpha with Golf. Delta 791, Heavy Canadian ground, runway 31 left turn, Bravo, cross 22 right at Juliet. Runway 31 left turn on Bravo, cross 22 right at Juliet, Delta 791 Heavy.
The controller told us that upon exiting the ramp at Kilo Foxtrot, we need to turn left on taxiway Bravo and cross runway 22 right at Juliet. Taxiways Alpha and Bravo circle the terminal area. Alpha is the inner taxiway and Bravo is the outer. Since Bravo is the outer, it's the second left-hand turn. Bravo runs in a circle all the way around the terminals, but once we reach taxiway Juliet, we are to turn onto it and cross runway 22 right. This will lead to runway 31 left, our takeoff runway. It's really quiet this morning here at JFK. JFK can be a surface traffic mess, but everything is perfect now as we make our left turn onto taxiway Bravo. Taxiway Bravo at this point parallels our departure runway 31 left, so we'll be traveling in the opposite direction of takeoff here. And now, despite the low traffic volume, the tower is actually going to advise us of an aircraft that we will be behind on Juliet to runway 31 left. In a moment, a JetBlue Airbus will emerge from behind the B concourse at Terminal 4. The tower will tell us to go behind the JetBlue plane from the left at Juliet, and the tower will tell JetBlue to turn onto Juliet and cross runway 22 right.
Delta 791 Heavy at Juliet, you're actually going to be behind JetBlue from the left. Behind JetBlue on Juliet, Delta 791 Heavy. JetBlue 1533, make a left on Juliet, cross runway 22 right.
Left Juliet, cross 22 right, JetBlue 1533.
Nothing changes in our path. We just need to ensure that we go behind the JetBlue plane that you see out there, so we'll need to slow down for it to pass in front of us. The JetBlue plane is the aircraft that we'll be following all the way to the runway. The controller ensured that this airplane has a different departure fix than we do so that we can take off directly behind it. This plane, JetBlue, is going to Wavy. We're headed to Robbinsville so we can take off and fly in different directions, one behind the other. Wavy is a fix located out over the ocean, and it fits for this JetBlue flight as its destination is Cartagena, Colombia. We're headed to the west, and our initial fix is to the west, the Robbinsville VOR, located in Robbinsville, New Jersey. For now, we'll continue along on taxiway Juliet. You can see from the sign array the letter J and the direction that we need to move in. For now, the ground controller is going to hand JetBlue and us over to the runway controller.
JetBlue 1533, towers 11901.
1, JetBlue 1533, good day.
Delta 791, towers 11901. Oh, tower, Delta 791, happy. Avenue.
Now, let's start listening to the tower frequency on 119.1.
Tower, good morning, Matt. Economia Super, establish a localizer 31 right.
Emirates 8 Echo Romeo Super, Kennedy Tower, runway 31 right, clear to land.
Let's land. 31 right, Emirates 8. Echo Romeo, request wind check.
Wind 310 at 10.
Thank you, sir.
Whoa, this is going to be good. Just like that JetBlue plane that we see out there landing on runway 31 right. Soon, an Emirates A380 will come in and land. There's so much to see, and right now I'm all eyes out the window as we cross runway 22 right. We're looking at it from the viewpoint of runway 4 left on an approximate 40-degree heading and at a right angle to our departure runway. Both runway 31 left and 31 right are being used for arrivals, but most planes are using runway 31 right today, and from this side of the plane, we can see them all. Approaching runway 31 right behind the A380 is a small Endeavour Air CRJ-900. This plane will check in with the tower and receive a warning about wake turbulence.
Endeavour 5073 is Aldos, runway 31 right.
Okay, 5073, Kennedy Tower, following a Super A380, 8.5 miles ahead, caution. Clear to land, wind 310, 31 right, clear to land.
31 right, clear to land, 073.
Now, in front of the JetBlue plane in front of us is a UPS 767 bound for Louisville that's going to be told to line up and wait on 31 left at taxiway Kilo Echo.
UPS 5125 Heavy, Kennedy Tower, runway 31 left, Kilo Echo, line up and wait.
Highway 31 left, Kilo Echo, even 5125 Heavy.
The UPS plane was told to enter the runway because a Delta red-eye flight from San Diego just landed on runway 31 left. This plane is slowed down, and the tower will tell him to clear the runway to the right on some taxiways and monitor ground control.
Delta 1694 right, Mike Charlie, right Papa, join Bravo, and monitor ground. Good day.
Mike Charlie, Papa Bravo, ground point now. We'll see you at Delta 1694.
Now a Qatari flight from Doha checks in for landing on runway 31 right.
Tower 36 Victor with you, ILS 31 right.
Tower 60 Victor Heavy, Kennedy Tower, runway 31 right, clear to land.
31 right, clear to land. 36 Victor.
As we watch the Emirates A380 coming in from Dubai, the tower tells the FedEx plane in position on our runway that he's clear for takeoff since the Delta flight that landed is now clear of the runway.
UPS 5125 Heavy 132.012, runway 31 left, Kilo Echo, clear for takeoff.
31 left, Kilo Echo, clear for takeoff, UPS 5125, Heavy, thanks.
Now, the remainder of this footage from the ground and initial climb will not be interrupted. 30 seconds later, the tower tells the Emirates plane to clear the runway, UPS will be told to contact departure, and JetBlue to Cartagena will get takeoff clearance and will be told to line up on runway 31 left.
Emirates Echo Romeo Super, left Victor, left uniform, left onto Alpha.
Left Victor, left uniform, and left Alpha, Emirates Echo Romeo.
Good morning, JetBlue 1533, holding short 31 left, we're ready.
What was that?
JetBlue 1533, holding short 31 left, we're ready.
Good morning, Emirates Echo Romeo.
Emirates Echo Romeo.
Disregard Emirates Echo Romeo.
Yeah, to make the left uniform, left Alpha, monitor ground to the ramp, Emirates Echo Romeo 2.
Okay, uniform, left on Alpha, and continue to ground 11, Emirates Echo Romeo.
UPS 5125 Heavy, contact you, departure.
To departure, UPS 5125 Heavy, see you, take care.
JetBlue 1533, 131011, runway 31 left, clear for takeoff.
JetBlue takeoff, runway 31 left, JetBlue 1533.
Delta 791 Heavy, Kennedy Tower, traffic time off on runway 31 left, full length, line of away.
3 left, full length, line of away, Delta 791 Heavy.
Delta 991 Heavy is dog leg, 3 left.
Delta 991 Heavy, Kennedy Tower, reduce spot approach speed and continue for 31 left.
Okay, it's phone, it's the final approach and 31 left, Delta 991 Heavy.
Continue.
Now, in that transmission, the Delta Red Eye from LAX just checked in for our runway, but we're getting out before it lands. Tower will now tell Qatari to slow down.
Qatari 60 Victor Heavy, reduce the final approach speed.
Final approach speed, Qatari 60 Victor.
We're about to enter runway 31 left at the very end, which is taxiway Zulu. This gives us 14,511 feet of runway to work with. The heavy FedEx departure entered the runway further down, but still had a lot of runway for takeoff. As we turn the corner, my aim is to look out for traffic on approach to our runway, but with the sun at such a low position in the early morning, there wasn't much I could see. There was just too much sun glare. I couldn't see very far. In the next transmission, a JetBlue Red Eye, also from LAX, will check in behind the Qatari, and the tower will tell the Delta plane bound for our runway about wake turbulence from us.
JetBlue 1678 is ILS 319.
JetBlue 1678, Kennedy Tower, calling heavy Boeing 777, 7 miles ahead, collection turns right, turn right, clear to land.
31 right, clear to land, JetBlue 1678.
Delta 991 Heavy, via Company Heavy, 767 departure right around collection turn. Clear to land, runway 31 left.
Clear to land, 31 left, Delta 991 Heavy.
Now it's our time for takeoff clearance on runway 31 left.
Delta 791 Heavy, runway 31 left, clear for takeoff.
31 left, clear for takeoff, Delta 791 Heavy.
While we roll, the JetBlue flight from Cartagena is told to contact departure control, while the JetBlue flight from Atlanta checks in for runway 31 right. The Endeavour Air that we heard earlier, which by the way came from Burlington, is told to clear runway 31 right.
JetBlue 1533, contacting departure.
What's the departure, JetBlue 1533, good day.
Kennedy Tower, JetBlue 320, ILS 319.
JetBlue 320, Kennedy Tower, turn right, clear to land.
Still in 319, JetBlue 320.
Clear 5073, left on Whiskey, left Alpha, and monitor ground point 9.
We'll start a left turn, as every plane does on this runway. Today, we'll turn left at 238 degrees to a point called Score, which is located at the Horseback Riding Academy exit and entrance of the northbound lanes of the Belt Parkway in Bergen Beach, Brooklyn. This will allow for a great view of Jamaica Bay as we fly over its western side. We'll be able to see the bay with the Atlantic Ocean in the distance. Before we get handed off to departure control, another Delta plane checks in, and then we'll get the handoff.
1 Tower Delta 2693 on the visual 31 left.
So 2693, Kennedy Tower, spot final approach speed and continue for 31 left.
Alright, so the final, continuing, Delta 2693.
791, contact new departure.
Departure, Delta 791, happy to see you.
All right, we're going to switch frequencies and check in with the New York departure controller.
New York departure, good morning, Delta 791 Heavy, 2,500, climbing 5,000 on the score.
Good morning, Delta 791 Heavy, New York departure without contact, climb and maintain 11,000.
Maintain 11,000, Delta 791 Heavy.
We're cleared up to 11,000 feet, and our pilot said that she was on the score. This means that we're on the published Score 5 departure and are flying to score, the point that I mentioned earlier. Now, it's blurry, but a look at the JetBlue plane ahead of us shows how it's going out over the ocean towards its first fix of Wavy, which is away from us. We'll continue our climb to the southwest for a while, away from the JetBlue plane. We're over score now, and we make a slight turn to 225 degrees to bring us to the next fix called Metz, which is located over the water between the western tip of Breezy Point and the eastern tip of Manhattan Beach. Once we reach Metz, we continue the same heading to the next fix called Ranger, which is located in Shack's Corner, New Jersey, near Jerseyville on Route 33, near the entrance to the Vlahos corporate community at Vlahos Way. Notice a New York sports theme here? Score, Metz, Ranger. The plan is to fly to Ranger until the controller provides clearance to the west towards Robbinsville. Robbinsville is a physical navigational aid located near the Assunpink Wildlife Conservation Center in Allentown, New Jersey, in a field. This is to the west of Ranger, so we won't be going all the way to Ranger. While between Metz and Ranger, the controller will turn us to the west to head to Robbinsville to save some time. For now, the controller is going to hand us off to a second departure control frequency.
Delta 791 Heavy, contact departure 124.905.
2495, yeah, Delta 791 Heavy.
Yeah.
I don't have the communications for this frequency, but it's the last departure control frequency before being handed off to the center. On this frequency, we'll climb higher and we'll be given turns to the right so that we can proceed to Robbinsville way before Ranger. The water down there is lower New York Bay, and the controller will have us turn to the right. We can see way out into the Atlantic Ocean from here, and passengers on the right side have been afforded a great view of Brooklyn with Manhattan in the distance. In a moment, as we continue this turn, we're going to see the Jersey Shore, and you're going to see that we didn't even come close to Ranger, as we're only going to pass over Sandy Hook, New Jersey. This airspace is reserved for aircraft at this altitude and can also include flights from other airports that are headed to the south. Below us are two streams of arrivals of flights headed to both JFK and LaGuardia, but that's only flights that are coming from the south and the west. What a great view of the Jersey Shore down there. We can see pretty far south today. Don't forget to check out the many videos that I have of my flights departing LaGuardia Airport and Westchester County Airport, where I head to Florida. Those flights parallel the shoreline, and you'll get to see a lot of what's down there. On those flights, we would normally be approaching Monmouth County, the county in New Jersey that you see here from the north to south, but we just view it here from the north as we head west. Down there in Monmouth County, we're going to get a great view of the communities that border Sandy Hook Bay, including Highlands, Atlantic Highlands, and Leonardo. We'll start flying over the land real soon, and the rest of this flight will be entirely over the continental United States. For the beginning part of this flight, we'll get to see all of New Jersey from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to its border with Pennsylvania at the Delaware River. We'll continue our climb during this period, but by the time we reach our cruising altitude in Pennsylvania, we'll be in the clouds, so we have to take it all in now. As I mentioned, this is a two-part video. There's just too much to see once the clouds give way, so I have a separate video coming out soon featuring the en route phase of flight and the arrival into Phoenix. For now, just look out for any turns because that's probably the clearance directly to Robbinsville. Once over Robbinsville, we'll proceed on course all the way to Phoenix, and we'll talk to many high-altitude air route traffic control centers along the way. Now, remember, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, we could have taken a northern route out of New York. A northern route would have had us continue to the left after our initial turn to the left off of runway 31 left. We would have proceeded into Nassau County to the east and eventually make another left-hand turn to the north along the north shore of Long Island. Then we'd make another left-hand turn to the northwest, putting us over or near the Westchester County Airport, eventually crossing the Hudson River, and we would head to a departure fix to the northwest. It's for that departure procedure that I chose a seat on the left-hand side because all of New York City, all 5 boroughs, would have been on the left-hand side of the plane. The real boroughs view for this flight today is on the right-hand side of the plane, but you never know what you're going to get. Today we flew a southern route because the northern route would have brought us through more unstable air. This route here provides the smoother ride. Pretty soon we'll leave the New York Tracon airspace and switch over to New York Center. New York Center is going to climb us higher to our cruising altitude. For now, we continue to enjoy the views of the very populated state of New Jersey. There's a lot down there as we fly over the busy areas between New York City and Philadelphia. That's right, we're now over Trenton, New Jersey, and you can see the Delaware River as we make our way into the Keystone State, and here comes the clouds. I was hoping to see Philadelphia in the distance by following the Delaware River to the south, but that's not going to happen. The cloud layer is thin here, but we're going to pass through a few cloud layers before breaking out into the clear blue skies above. I was able to see, however, a flight down there bound for Newark at a low altitude below. After that, this was my view for the next few minutes. Here on the IFE screen, which is on a wall in front of me, you can see our path from runway 31 left to Robbinsville and beyond. We eventually broke out of the clouds, and I saw the contrail of a Southwest 737 from LaGuardia to Nashville. All right, with the clouds, I'm going to end part 1 here, but please stay tuned for part 2, where I pick off where I leave off as we continue this flight across the United States of America. As we descend into Phoenix, I'll provide air traffic control once again for our beautiful approach to runway 8, which means we'll have to make left traffic to the runway. So this seat on the left side of the plane will really pay off for the approach. How will you know when the video is out? It's simple. Hit the subscribe button below and the bell button so that you're alerted to its debut. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to sharing with you and educating you about the rest of this flight from a unique air traffic perspective.